Hello everyone, welcome to Onichan. Today, I will introduce the martial arts anime, Baki Part 2, featuring incredibly thrilling fights that will captivate your hearts. As skilled fighters from all around the world gather for the once-in-a-century Grand Arena tournament, the event becomes even more extraordinary with the participation of the world's top monsters. After a fierce battle with Yanagi, Baki was poisoned, but despite his addictive physique, he remains determined to take part in this historic tournament to fulfill his wish of punching his old man in the face. Alai paid a visit to Yuhiro, aiming to continue his father's legacy in boxing, so they engaged in a light sparring session. Yuhiro was delighted to see the potential in this young boy, and as Alai threw a punch, he accidentally lost his glove. With just one of Yuhiro's unique skills, the young lad found himself sweating profusely. But this skill had a special twist. It was a one-of-a-kind technique that Yuhiro had used in a past battle against Alai's father, leaving his opponent completely perplexed. And now, it was Alai's turn to experience it. However, the young boy wasn't interested in figuring out the intricacies of such skills. Instead, he felt humiliated that Yuhiro allowed himself to be defeated, and willingly lay down on the floor in front of his opponent. This disrespect infuriated Yuhiro, as Alai became the first kid to shame him in such a manner. Alai must not let Yuhiro catch him, or he would regret it. 'Cause he would learn a lesson expensive. To qualify for the Grand Arena tournament, Alai had to prove his strength to the Balin faction. There, he faced off against one of their disciples, who relied on old tactics and lay on the ground pretending to be defenseless. As the opponent unleashed a series of continuous kicks, Alai quickly saw through the outdated strategy. He countered with a barrage of punches that landed on the unsuspecting opponent, and finally delivered a decisive blow that knocked him out. Alai's impressive performance earned him a spot in the prestigious tournament. The once-in-a-century tournament was finally underway, featuring elite martial artists from 12 different factions. Even the legendary 146-year-old champion of the Grand Arena tournament made an appearance to participate. To add more excitement to the event, the organizers decided to include 3 more contestants: Alai from the United States, the extraordinary Yuhiro, and, of course, our own Baki. The stage was set for a thrilling and dramatic competition. Afterward, the tournament organizers paired the fighters against each other, and the old master Ryu was matched against Yuhiro. However, not knowing the true strength of the monster Yuhiro, the organizers decided to test his abilities with a seemingly simple challenge. He had to break 40 roof tiles. Yuhiro smirked at this seemingly childish test, considering it too easy for someone of his power. Confidently, Ryu showcased his cultural prowess to Yuhiro, and then launched an attack with a swift kick. To everyone's surprise, Yuhiro quickly grabbed Ryu's face and effortlessly threw him into the air. Ryu's disciple wanted to take over the fight, but Ryu stopped him, deciding to take on Yuhiro himself. However, Ryu's opponent was the strongest fighter. Ryu's attempts to play tricks on Yuhiro were in vain. The monster proved his dominance in the arena, and with just one powerful knee strike, the game was over. In the arena, Baki's girlfriend met Alai, and she couldn't help but cry in worry for Baki's upcoming fight. However, Alai, being the caring person, took advantage of the moment of vulnerability and comforted her with soothing words, embracing her to ease her anxiety. The second match took place between Alai and the formidable fighter Joe, who launched a fierce attack, and using his legs to kick his opponent. Fate took an unexpected turn when Joe received a powerful groin punch from Alai, causing him to wince in pain. Despite enduring the agony, Joe attempted to retaliate with strikes towards Alai, but he couldn't land a single hit on him. With just a slight opening, Alai swiftly countered, delivering a blow that left Joe unconscious on the spot. The victory belonged to Alai. Baki continued his strenuous training with his weak and frail body, causing his girlfriend to break into tears. The third preliminary match proceeded, and Baki was set to face the venomous assassin Lee, renowned for his deadly techniques. Baki rushed forward and kicked at Lee, but his leg got contaminated with poison. Swiftly Baki bit into the poisoned area, drawing out the venom. Lee extended his hand for a handshake, and the two quickly locked hands. However, Baki delivered a powerful strike that sent Lee flying. They engaged in a second exchange, during which Baki endured blows all over his body, causing the poison to spread within him. As Baki charged forward once more, he collapsed to the ground due to the toxic effects. His girlfriend sat there crying and uttering her final words to him. Miraculously, her tears, like the tears of a mermaid, had a healing effect, neutralizing the poison in Baki's body. Sometimes it's only the women who can bring us back to life. As the venomous assassin Lee launched his attacks, they now seemed insignificant. Baki and Lee engaged in a serious battle, with Baki continuously delivering powerful strikes that felt like they were aimed at the heart. Lee became immobile and ultimately lost the match. Baki didn't forget to thank the girl who saved him, promising to reward her once the tournament was over. Retsu prepared delicious food for Baki to help him recover after his life and death struggle. Baki appreciated the gesture and devoured the meal as if he were starving. The sumptuous feast filled him up, but Retsu then brought a bucket of water and poured in 100% natural sugar, stirring it with his hand, and instructed Baki to drink it all. After Baki finished the drink, his body felt like it was steaming, as he was absorbing a revitalizing energy into his body. Over here the old man Kaku is criticizing Yuhiro, pointing out his uncontrollable strength, and expressing profound disdain for the desire for power. In the next battle between the Emperor Kaku and the skilled Chinese martial artist, people wonder what the old man, with his advanced age and declining health, can do. Despite the young man's analysis of his strength, the old man unexpectedly employs a deceptive move, leaving his opponent stunned and helpless with just one swift motion. The reporters are curious and interview him about this unique skill, but to their surprise, he leisurely recounts everything, and the Chinese martial artist is deeply embarrassed in front of thousands of fans. Yuhiro continues to taunt his opponent, but little did he know that the young man would dare to challenge him. And he received a powerful blow, crashing to the ground and losing consciousness once again. As for Baki, after indulging in a satisfying meal, he lies down and daydreams about being attentively massaged by someone, enjoying the moment until suddenly jolting awake. Nevertheless, the dream provides him with a surge of energy, rejuvenating his muscles and restoring his strength. In the next match between Dorian and the Yo launches an attack, taking advantage of the opportunity to strike relentlessly. He delivers a series of consecutive punches, hitting Dorian multiple times, but the old man seems unbothered, only concerned about a piece of dropped candy. While Dorian remains nonchalant, Yo keeps attacking fiercely until one of his punches sends Dorian tumbling to the ground. Yo steps on face, and the victory goes to him. Oliva picked up the dropped candy and put it back in his mouth, then graciously offered it to the old man Dorian, explaining that the unique blend of the candy's essence compelled him to stand up and step inside. However, the Yo refused to accept victory over an ailing opponent and requested a fair match between them. As a result, Oliva had no choice but to step in as a replacement for the elderly Dorian to face Yo. The tournament organizers approved their request, and now the entire audience would witness the championship-level strength of Oliva. Before even engaging in combat, Yo looked confident, with a body seemingly made of iron and the prestigious title of a Marine. He allowed Oliva to strike first, that it was a foolish move since Oliva's punches were incredibly devastating, crushing his opponents rather than merely hitting them. Next is the match between Jaku and the Chin. Just as Jaku rushed forward, he was punched and sent rolling backward. Chin charged at his opponent, and Jaku felt unable to compete with him, so he decided to recruit a partner with an offer of up to 1 billion yen per year, making Chin distracted, as he had been teaching martial arts for only 10,000 yen per month. Jaku took advantage of the opportunity, held Chin's hand, and promised to hire him with a salary of 11,000 yen. Meanwhile, Retsu was practicing his techniques for continuous hours to prepare for his upcoming fight. He had just encountered Sun, who showed off his finger strength. Hearing this, Retsu rushed forward, grasped his hands, and effortlessly defeated his opponent with a simple finger technique, leaving him immobilized with just a light touch. Old man Kaku has summoned the members, because he doesn't want to bestow the title of emperor on a foreigner. He revoked the martial arts of 3 useless master, and then recruited 2 powerful experts into his team, his own son and his friend, forming an alliance. Retsu informed the Baki group about this change, and being a Chinese tradition, they will now have a 5 vs 5 match as Kaku arranged. Yuhiro was thrilled and accepted the challenge due to his grudge against old man Kaku, who had previously insulted him. And Yuhiro's team is determined to defeat them. Oliva prepared himself for the match and stepping into the arena, he ignited excitement among the crowd. However, when he saw Ron, the atmosphere turned tense. Oliva moved forward to strike Ron, but Ron's calm demeanor revealed his exceptional martial skills. With a lightning-fast counter, Ron injured Oliva, and his arrogant attitude led him to suffer the consequences. Ron unleashed swift and precise attacks, maintaining his dignified demeanor. Oliva tried to mimic Ron's style but ended up making a fool of himself. Ron swiftly retaliated, issuing a challenge to his opponent. Oliva was left speechless, unable to respond. He gathered his muscle strength and attempted a powerful frontal blow, but Ron countered with deadly strikes that brought him to his knees. When we saw Ron's arrogant attitude, he executed swift and decisive attacks that caught his opponent off guard, leaving no time for defense. However, with Oliva's massive muscles, it was challenging to bring him down. Ron became furious and relentlessly punched him, with lightning-fast strikes that seemed endless. Oliva took advantage of Ron's momentary vulnerability and delivered a deadly counterattack. Their showdown began as Ron targeted Oliva's weak points. Despite Oliva's tough exterior, Ron's swift and precise strikes found their mark. In his arrogant state, Ron used his feet to attack and evade Oliva's retaliation. Oliva endured 100 strikes, but with a single headbutt from him, Ron's fingers were left fractured and useless. Seizing the opportunity, Oliva delivered another powerful headbutt that Ron struggled to resist but ultimately failed. The victory belonged to Oliva. Old man Kaku was deeply disappointed, so he decided to fight the remaining 4 matches alone. However, his son insisted on participating in the next match, displaying his determination, and Kaku reluctantly agreed. The match between Shunsei and Baki began, and Shunsei eagerly attacked first. However, Baki remained calm and delivered powerful punches and hooks that sent Shunsei to the ground in less than 2 seconds. Jaku mentally prepared himself to fight against Retsu, even though they were acquaintances. But old man Kaku reminded Retsu that he had to win this match, or else the entire team would be eliminated from the tournament. Jaku resorted to dirty tricks when he noticed his familiar opponent trying to put him in a headlock. Retsu swiftly pushed Jaku away, causing the audience to boo at Jaku's underhanded tactics. Despite this, Jaku continued to act brazenly and even extended his hand for a handshake, but with his weak internal energy, he stood no chance against Retsu. Even though Retsu intentionally tried not to harm his friend, he was too weak to pose a real threat. But what the hell does this guy know about shame or respect? He wanted to shake hands for the 3rd time, and Retsu accepted the offer again. However, this time the outcome was different, as Retsu took advantage of it and landed 100 continuous hits. Jaku turned the tables by throwing his opponent off and employing a tricky technique, making Retsu amazed. The fans were furious as this guy played dirty. Fortunately, Retsu managed to hold his ground despite his arm being injured, displaying some impressive offensive moves, surprising Jaku. However, Jaku didn't give up his dirty tactics, attempting to exploit Retsu's leg lock, but Retsu used his skilled martial arts leg to counter and defeat Jaku. The cool beard he used to have was no longer there, so he resorted to sweet words to deceive and initiated a friendly handshake 49 times. Retsu accepted the proposal and in the end, he received a trick ending. Luckily, Jaku showed some integrity and fixed Retsu's dislocated arm. But the way Retsu reciprocated the favor was with some spectacular and relentless attacks, landing hundreds of hits on Jaku. Those finishing blows demonstrated his true martial arts skills. Jaku tried to counter, but it seemed unsuccessful, and he took a powerful hit that could have broken his spine. Though his endurance was limited, his deceitful tactics were boundless. Jaku played a trick by hitting Retsu in reverse, which angered Retsu and prompted him to launch an aggressive attack. The blows came in the hundreds, and if anyone needs a massage, they should go to Retsu after this, as he was punching and squeezing like crazy. After a while, Retsu switched to applying pressure points on Jaku, forcing him to stand up and take a direct punch. The game ended with Retsu as the winner. After the fiery dance warm-up with the Sea King Han cutting the apple with his leg, he went on to fight Alai. The match began with Alai launching an attack, but Han wanted to showcase his kicking technique. Those damaging kicks made his opponent tremble in fear, but when it came to close combat, Alai had the upper hand. He overwhelmed Han with continuous blows, causing him to collapse. Just when it seemed Han could stand up and continue the fight, Alai saw the fear in his eyes and turned around to leave. Han was defeated, and victory belonged to the boxer Alai. After the matches, Yuhiro's team won with a score of 3 victories, leaving no chance for Kaku's Chinese team to secure a win. With a score of 3-1 in 5 rounds, the fans felt desperate. At that moment, Yuhiro spoke about the meaningless titles of Sea King and Emperor, disappointing everyone about traditional martial arts skills. The elderly Grand Emperor Kaku rolled out in a wheelchair to lift the spirits of the fans. He performed a grand entrance by throwing away the wheelchair to showcase his prowess, but Yuhiro responded with a nonchalant attitude and invited him to sit in the car for a stroll to enjoy the breeze. The two engaged in an intimate conversation. Yuhiro wanted to learn about Kaku's journey of strength up to this day, and Kaku revealed the hardships he endured during training. He was once a muscle-bound powerhouse with no equal, until he encountered a genuine martial arts master who overwhelmed him completely. From that day on, Kaku realized that muscle alone didn't guarantee true strength. He devoted himself to training in martial arts day and night, eventually giving up his bulky muscles to become the fighter he is today. Yuhiro was infuriated by what he heard and, in his anger, destroyed the old man's wheelchair. The battle between the two sources of power, supreme brutality and supreme martial arts, began. Yuhiro launched the first attack, but the old man used his agility to dodge the strikes, despite enduring incredibly powerful blows that could have shattered his jaw. He skillfully used the principle of taking softness to overcome hardness, allowing him to gracefully evade Yuhiro's attacks. However, Yuhiro caught onto the old man's technique and managed to grab a strand of his hair, landing a punch straight to his face. The old man stumbled and rolled a few times. Kaku praised Yuhiro's skills, but then he decided to show Yuhiro what it felt like to be hit by his weak punch. The punch packed quite a punch and Yuhiro felt fear. Kaku didn't stop there. He cornered Yuhiro and unleashed a barrage of punches, demonstrating his power on the wall. Yuhiro decided to take some of those punches to understand the old man's strength. He concluded that Kaku was still inexperienced and had much to learn. Yuhiro had also successfully mastered the softness principle, rendering Kaku's punches ineffective. However, he didn't want to use this technique against him and decided to defeat him using his raw muscle power instead. He wanted to show Kaku the difference in their levels. Yuhiro rushed in and delivered a powerful blow that sent the old man flying into the sky. His heavy punches landed on the opponent, but the old man retaliated, causing Yuhiro to backpedal 100 meters. However, those cheap shots couldn't do much to the man known as a monster. Kaku seemed like a ball bouncing off the wall, constantly rebounding. It appeared that the old man had lost his composure, unable to use his skills effectively, as those blows left him disoriented and bewildered. Kaku, in a fit of madness, fought back with basic techniques, forcing Yuhiro to showcase his strength and land a few hits on the old man for boasting. The old man was furious because no one had dared to strike him like that before. He charged forward relentlessly, disregarding the danger. And the attacks were no longer just martial arts moves, they seemed like self-generated martial prowess. Yuhiro didn't bother to defend and allowed the old man to keep attacking. The battle would end when Yuhiro used his Heaven's Net skill on him, followed by a super-powered punch to disperse the energy. However, to everyone's surprise, the old man lost connection with reality due to his old age. The medical team quickly arrived and concluded that he had departed from this world due to his age, leaving Yuhiro feeling enraged. Before he could throw another punch, his opponent ascended to heaven. The doctors and nurses were about to take the old man's body for burial when suddenly Kaku sprang back to life. The Chinese martial artists were startled by this unexpected turn of events. Kaku explained that he had used his ultimate move, a trick he always kept in reserve. When a prey realizes it cannot defeat its opponent, it instinctively protects its life by feigning death, causing the hunter to pause and end the pursuit. However, this also meant that the match would not have a clear winner or loser. Despite Kaku's explanation, the others still found it hard to believe that he was still alive. Although the tournament was meant to determine the successor to the title of Sea Emperor, the outcome remained ambiguous, and the competition came to a close. Yuhiro, still seething with frustration, examined the old man's bruises. Kaku praised Yuhiro, acknowledging that he couldn't pass on his title to someone else, but he felt delighted to have found a worthy opponent. After the battle, Baki felt that the concept of winning or losing was no longer important to him. He decided to live a normal life and retreated to a forest where he first began his martial arts training, seeking to reconnect with its essence. However, Alai also arrived there, wanting to challenge Baki. But Baki declined the challenge as he no longer found interest in fighting, except when it came to his extraordinary father, the monster Yuhiro. Upon hearing Baki's refusal, Alai became resentful and sought ways to force Baki into a fight. He called Baki's girlfriend, inviting her to a coffee shop to chat and informed her about his desire to face Baki. He presented seemingly logical reasons, such as loving her and wanting to be her boyfriend. He even went a step further, expressing his intentions to marry her, leaving the girl astonished by his audacity. Despite her rejection, Alai continued his relentless pursuit, overwhelming the girl with his persistent advances. Overwhelmed and unable to cope with the intensity of his actions, she started to suffocate. Finally, he ended the encounter by kissing her on the cheek before departing. In the evening, Alai sought a challenge with the elderly martial artist Shibukawa, hoping to learn new skills. Shibukawa initiated the attack, catching Alai off guard and almost knocking him down. However, it was just the beginning for Alai. He retaliated with a punch to Shibukawa's face but controlled the force out of respect for the elder. And he had used his full power. The result would have been more devastating, as demonstrated when Shibukawa gracefully fell to the ground. Following that, Alai went on to challenge Orochi, reminding the latter of Alai's father from years ago. Orochi was surprised to see Alai's fighting style resembling his father's but with some improvements of his own. Orochi attempted an attack but was met with Alai's counter punches, causing him to rethink his strategy. Orochi became confident, allowing Alai to attack him and then countered with his own strikes, leaving Alai intimidated by Orochi's prowess. Then, Orochi changed his tactics again, and the real battle began. When Alai launched his attack, Orochi successfully countered the punch. However, Alai's strikes were incredibly fast, causing Orochi to be reminded of Yuhiro's powerful punches, and unable to keep up, Orochi found himself unable to continue the fight. After Alai won the affection of Baki's girlfriend, she intentionally created some confusion and tested his feelings. As women can be hard to understand at times, she wanted to see how Baki would react. Being a good-hearted person, Baki didn't overthink the situation and honestly expressed his feelings. He took his girlfriend to a park to talk, and she asked him if he loved her. Without any hesitation, Baki kissed her to show his affection. Unfortunately, their moment was interrupted by Alai, who broke into their conversation. Alai declared that he would pursue Baki's girlfriend, leaving Baki taken aback. As Baki looked at his girlfriend, he recalled her previous questions, realizing that she had feelings for Alai. Baki handled the situation with grace and allowed Alai to pursue her if that's what she wanted. He respected her decision, and Alai accepted, promising to start dating her soon, and Baki's girlfriend was surprised by this turn of events. After that, Alai sought out Jack for a friendly exchange, but Jack was busy his meal. They exchanged some teasing words, but Jack didn't make Alai wait long. They both headed down to the sewer to engage in a heated battle. Alai kept warming up his limbs, while Jack flexed his muscles after taking off his shirt. He then charged at Alai, but his attacks were met with swift counters. Jack delivered lightning-fast punches that left Alai screaming in pain. Despite Alai's attempts to resist, Jack's powerful blows overwhelmed him. It was evident that Jack was not holding back when facing such a challenging opponent. Alai, with his reckless challenge against the much stronger adversary, received a few hits for his audacity. As it seemed to be the end of the fight, surprisingly, Alai managed to stand up again. However, the situation turned grim as Jack unleashed a series of devastating punches, culminating in a final blow that defeated his opponent. Few days later, Alai had an official date with Baki's girlfriend, leaving her surprised by his injuries. She wanted him to give up his fighting pursuits, but Shibukawa, the elderly martial artist, arrived and asked to borrow Alai for a while. The two of them went to a forest after the summer, and Shibukawa wanted a rematch with Alai. Thus, the friendly match between the two commenced. Unfortunately for Alai, this time Shibukawa knew all his fighting techniques, and Shibukawa began to take him down step by step. The match felt unfair, with the old man relentlessly punishing Alai. It was hard to watch the young man being beaten like that, and he endured the onslaught until he was bruised and battered. And the next day, Alai continued his date with Baki's girlfriend, who told him that he was foolish to challenge high-level Japanese martial artists. Before she could finish her sentence, Orochi arrived to check on them. He led Alai to an empty field and challenged again, seeking revenge for their previous match. Despite his injuries, Alai accepted the challenge. Orochi determined not to lose again and attacked fiercely. However, Orochi's fighting skills seemed to have improved, and he no longer posed a significant threat to Alai. Alai started to feel fear as Orochi's confident demeanor overwhelmed him. Despite trying to retaliate quickly, Alai found himself crying out in pain. Orochi relentlessly dominated the fight, delivering powerful blows that left Alai trembling with fear. After playing with Alai for a while, Orochi finally left, seemingly satisfied with his revenge. Alai persisted in pursuing his date, despite his pitiful appearance, and he expressed his feelings in a sweet and heartfelt manner. However, the girl rejected him, which left him feeling saddened by her response. Suddenly, Alai's father arrived and challenged, because he had lost to Alai in a previous fight, after days of rigorous training to better himself, and he wanted to have a friendly match. Feeling unable to refuse, Alai accepted his father's challenge. Despite his sore limbs, he mustered the courage to attack. His father effortlessly knocked him down with one hand, showcasing his six-pack muscles, and launched a series of attacks on Alai, taking advantage of his injuries. The father-son bond was evident as they engaged in the intense match. After the fight, Alai and his father had a heartfelt conversation. Alai learned many valuable lessons from his experiences in Japan, and he became more determined than ever not to give up on his dreams. This encounter with his father inspired him to continue pushing forward despite any setbacks or challenges he may face. An old man had come and wanted to create a duel between him and Baki, despite being severely injured, but upon hearing about the fight Baki immediately agreed. On Baki's side, he also accepted the challenge because he was angry at Alai for daring to steal his lover. Alai is striving to train and prepare for the battle, even though he is heavily wounded. His old man came and offered words of encouragement, pushing Alai to surpass his limits, to achieve a strong and swift recovery for the upcoming match. On the day of the match with Baki, Alai stepped out of the hotel and got into a VIP car to head to the arena. The driver praised him for his bravery in daring to fight Baki in a no-holds-barred, referee-less match. If we consider Baki's father, Yuhiro, as the strongest, then Baki himself as the second strongest. Alai was led by the arena manager to his preparation room, but at this moment, he felt immense psychological pressure that made him tremble with fear. In the preparation room, he tried to train and alleviate his fear. Afterward, with determination, he stepped out onto the arena. However, even before the battle could start, the old man, Yuhiro, swooped down to intimidate him, causing Baki to lose his trademark scene, which made him call the old man up to the ring to witness his performance. To add to the excitement, Yuhiro smashed a drum to display his prowess. Baki advanced toward his opponent and skillfully dodged the incoming attack. With just one swift strike, he knocked Alai unconscious. With that fierce expression, it was evident that Baki would undoubtedly win this match. Despite Alai regaining his spirit, he couldn't evade relentless onslaught. Baki grabbed Alai and choked him tightly for daring to touch his lover. At that moment, Alai's old man swiftly descended to rescue him. Baki apologized for not being able to control his emotions in that instant, but he also made it clear that Alai's actions were unforgivable and couldn't be excused. So Baki turned to his old man. Yuhiro, seeing his once weak child grown up, he didn't know how to treat him anymore. And unfortunately, today Yuhiro felt uninterested and walked away. Baki's girlfriend, impressed by his imposing demeanor, tried to follow him reconcile, but Baki wasn't that forgiving and drove her away. On her way, she noticed Alai weeping in deep sorrow. Finding themselves in similar circumstances, they felt empathy for each other and embraced while crying. And the ending of these two people, what will it be like? Please leave your comments below so we can discuss together. Today's video ends here, my friends. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Onichan in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, love you all.